it definitely goes by really fast. It doesn't feel like quite yesterday. It was like my freshman year, but it's like I can still remember mostly everything. So it definitely was crazy.
How long ago does the freshman year feel too? I mean, with everything that's happened.
Yeah, to be honest, it feels like it was like a year and a half ago. Like it wasn't really that long ago. But I mean, with everything that's happened, like it kind of makes sense. But it's hard to
Could you have imagined? I think back to that Seton Hall game your freshman year, when you made all those threes, and then to go with everything you guys have gone through with the COVID and everything that's happened this year. Could you have imagined back then that you would have seen so many different things this program and you guys have to go through?
No, not at all. I was thinking about that the other day. Just like the experiences that I've had here in my 4 years, I feel like probably some of the craziest like anybody's had in their time at Michigan State. So I definitely find it interesting. But like, there's a lot of lessons that I've learned throughout everything that's going on. It's not even just inside the program and life in general. So.
What about in terms of your future? How much have you thought about it at this point? You assume you haven't made any firm decisions yet.
Yeah, I haven't made any firm decisions yet. I'm just trying to make it through the end of the season, to be honest. It's just most important and foremost on my mind right now, obviously.
Does it help seeing what Joey does to kind of, I mean, do you use that at least as part of the information of how Joey has been this year, coming back for next year?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I always kind of try and look at people that have either been in my situation or like kind of been in a similar aspect, just to make sure I can make the best informed decision that I possibly can. You know.
Is there any frustration? I mean, obviously the injury's got to be. It's not something you ever plan on doing, but is there frustration still that, man, I missed however many weeks it was?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I'd say like I'm upset about it, or like I was kind of sad about it. I wouldn't say it's frustration. Obviously, I couldn't really change anything that happened. So I just try and use it as a learning experience and gain as much knowledge while I was out. Yeah, obviously it's upsetting that I didn't get to play as much, but things happen.
How do you feel you're at in terms of your health now? And I know you're practicing all the time now, but do you feel like you're pretty close to getting back to where you were, or is it still a work in progress?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely getting closer and closer every day. I wouldn't say like I'm more so going the opposite way. I'm definitely closer to 100% than I've been in the past. So it's definitely something I'm happy about.
Does the fact that you weren't really fully healthy most of this year and probably couldn't put your best stuff on tape a lot, does that factor in, you think, of the decision at the end of the year?
Yeah, it does for sure. It's definitely something that I got to think about, but I mean, I always just got to back myself too. So like, no matter either way it goes, you know, just making sure I'm confident in myself, even if I didn't get to have the year I wanted.
Offensively, this team put up 70 points in 30 minutes after that slow start. What has allowed this team to shoot the ball so well since that Rutgers game and score like you guys have the last maybe 3 or 4 games?
I think everybody's just putting the emphasis on, shooting the ball well, make sure we're making the right passes. Something that we've kind of talked about, like for the majority of the season, a lot of our problems have been more so on the offensive end than the defensive end. I think pretty sure we're leading the Big Ten in a lot of defensive statistics, or if not leading at the top at least. So it's something that we kind of tried to focus on, not only in practice but just like outside of practice. A lot of people getting a lot of shots up and things like that. So I think that kind of attributes to how we were able to do that.
You feel like it's becoming the last couple of weeks more of a complete team like that?
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Malik, you're the only guy in the senior class that started here initially, so I'm just wondering, if this is the end for you, what do you hope people remember you for, as being a 4-year guy here?
I just hope they remember me for being like a good person, to be honest. All that other stuff is cool, but as long as people can look back and be like, he was a good guy, like, he treated everybody nicely. Like, he never acted too big for the situation he was in, or things like that. I feel like that's the most important thing to me, to be honest.
Coach Izzo was mentioning a little bit. I was talking with Tyson about it. Like, look at the last 4 games. Do you guys feel like maybe when you look at how those games have happened and what the totality of each 40 minutes, do you feel like you guys are maybe trending a little bit better than 2-2 on paper would suggest in the last 4?
Yeah, I think so. I think for the most part we've put together a lot. We've put together more good minutes than we have bad minutes. I'd say that. we had our bad minutes at bad times in the games. But I feel like we've put together a lot of really good minutes, and I feel like it's definitely we're trending upward, and we just need to continue to get more and more, like 40 full minutes, things like that.
Tom's said a few times this year about you guys getting up off the mat after getting knocked down. It feels like you guys have been put in that position a lot this year, and it seems like every time you've responded. How is that making a better team at the end, that you guys are showing that, I guess, that mental toughness to not let something beat you down, like maybe Iowa last week or the slow start in Nebraska?
I think that has to go with, quite honestly, everything. Everybody knows how March Madness is. It's a crazy schedule. You obviously play a lot of really great teams. So just, being able to get yourself off the canvas is something that you're going to need, especially mentally as we go into that part of the year and go into these tournaments.
You guys have played, it seems like every team you've played has been kind of on an upswing too, especially recently. What have you seen on tape from Ohio State that's changed maybe since the first time you guys played them?
I know they're running a smaller lineup for the most part. With Key being out, they got Felix out there. He's obviously doing a lot better too. He had a really great game last night. And the smaller lineups, I feel like is definitely something that could be a problem, just because they're a little bit smaller. We'd have to. I don't think a lot of teams work on that. It's something that we work on for the most part, just because we think some of our best teams could be in smaller lineups. But I think that's one of the major differences that we've seen so far.
What can you say about Tyson's growth from when you first met him here to what he's become for you guys now? It's kind of your big shot guy.
Yeah. Obviously, what he's been able to do is just incredible, to be honest. I think when he first got here in those first couple of games last year, he was kind of just like in a shell, not necessarily that he was like scared or anything, but I think he was just finding his footing. And ever since then, I think since the second half of last year till now, he's just gotten more and more comfortable. And I think he's continuing to do that throughout the remainder of the season, making sure that he's playing his best basketball and making sure that he has the confidence that he has going down the stretch. It's definitely something that we'll need.
As a guy who's been through a lot of stuff, NCAA tournaments, Big Ten tournaments, weird COVID years, all that, does your voice, do you think, become more important these next couple weeks where urgency cranks up and obviously you guys know what's at stake?
I think it does for sure. Since I have experience in some of these aspects, I definitely think it's something that I need to use more of going into these tournaments.
What's going to be like Saturday in terms of family? I don't know how well your dad's doing. Is your mom going to be here?
Yeah, my family will be here.
Okay. So, how much does that mean to you? Obviously, that's been something weighing on your mind.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Obviously, any time that they can come to a game, especially when he's healthy, it's a big deal.
You see the senior ceremonies as an underclassman. Does it come fast when it's your turn?
Yeah, it does for sure. It's definitely something that came really fast that I didn't expect.
You saw the emotion in years past. Do you expect you to be pretty emotional on Saturday?
Yeah, I probably will be. Right now, I say no, but I feel like once you get in the moment, obviously you'll get emotional. So.
You could almost write a book on your couldn't you, on all the ups and downs and COVID and everything you've been through?
Yeah, I definitely could. I was just saying to them that it's been one of the craziest 4-year experiences I think that anyone has really had in their time here.
How important is it now to finish this off right and get a win going into the Big Ten tournament?
It's obviously a big deal, to be able to stack wins, gain some momentum going into the tournament. That helps a lot, for sure.
Do you think the postseason's coming along at the right time for this team, the way you've been shooting lately and the way you've been playing and the energy you brought?
Yeah, I do for sure. I think it's something that everybody kind of wants. You want your best games being going into March for the most part, just so that you can kind of build off what you've already done and have confidence moving forward.
I don't know if you dreamt of being a Spartan, but if so, has the reality lived up to the dream for you?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say I dreamt of being a Spartan when I was younger, because I honestly didn't really know much of it. I was a West Coast kid for the most part when I was younger, so I honestly didn't really know much about Michigan State till I became more of the Midwest, and I started to grow and like know more and more about basketball. But it's definitely lived up to experience. And I'm excited and happy that I came here for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Malik.
Yeah, of course.
Your dad will be